What's up, everybody? It's Courtney, aka the OKest Trail Runner. I'm here today talking gear reviews, and we're going to talk about the new Raide 5-liter vest, which I am wearing here for you today. We're going to talk about what it was like on the very first run, what it's like to use the vest, what are the pros and cons, and whether or not I ultimately would recommend that you wear this vest. All right, stay tuned for more. Okay, so let's start by talking about the overall form, fit, function of the vest. First of all, I've got to say I'm wearing an extra small. I'm around 111 pounds, and this fits like a glove, I will say. I tried the size small, and there was just a little bit too much room up in the shoulders for me. And as you'll notice, one kind of interesting thing about this vest is that they're using a mixture of different materials. One thing that they advertise about this vest that makes it very durable is the fact that they use Dyneema, which is the strongest fabric on earth. Great for durability, but that means that the sections that are Dyneema also do not have any stretch, which I don't know that I totally love, but nonetheless, it is what it is. There's a lot of other vests that also don't necessarily stretch exactly everywhere. So I found that on the small, I had a little gap above my shoulder, so extra small was the right size for me. Now, Raide's big claim to fame is that there's no bounce, right? That's with their belts, that's with this new vest, and I have to say, I took this vest on a 14-mile run yesterday. There really wasn't any bounce, but the downside of that is that I felt that these bottles, when they're full, were very compressive on top of my lungs based on where they're positioned. Maybe because I'm a woman, maybe because I'm between vest sizes, I don't really know, but I feel like these bottles are cinched down so much that I can't really expand and breathe properly. So I didn't love that. It kind of took me until the bottles were like halfway empty for me to feel like I could breathe normally. So that is probably my number one complaint about this vest. And quite frankly, the reason why I don't know that I could wear it long term, just because it is so bounce resistant, because these bottles are cinched down so much across my chest, I feel like I can't really breathe. So again, this ends up, this might not be a problem for you, especially maybe you're a guy, that's not going to be an issue, but for me, I found it just didn't work for me for that reason. Not knocking the vest or the design overall, but that is a factor to consider. Now, the next thing that I'm going to go through is the actual kind of packing of the vest. So I'm going to get a different angle so you can actually watch me pack and unpack this vest. You're going to see like I've got poles in the back here. There's a really cool system. I think that the back of this vest is super innovative. There are a lot of really great engineering elements. But that being said, there are some things that I also found just a little bit frustrating, maybe not quite perfect. Okay, so let's talk about actually using this vest while you're running. First of all, I gotta say, watch the YouTube video on how to use this vest inside and out to kind of get an idea. So you've got kind of some standard stretchy pockets up front and some little side pockets kind of back here. Along with the side cinch, so you could tighten this more if you needed to. I do kind of find these side pockets, with most vests, a little bit difficult to reach. That's probably somewhere where I'd place garbage. But you basically have one main pocket up here on the right-hand side. And, I've got a Precision 90 very much so squeezed in there. And so I'm getting like a scratch. And that's probably like the most that I can fit in this front pocket, honest to God, because again, you've got 600 milliliter flasks. This is real freaking tight. Again, this is a 5-liter vest. Like, I wouldn't really wear this on my longest training runs. I kind of feel like because of these front pocket capacities, and how tight everything is, just that I don't know that I could really pack enough nutrition, or I'd have to use, like these really awesome rabbit shorts to put some extra nutrition in like a belt if I was really doing something longer. Now let's go over to the other side. So here, there's a zipper pocket, which in the main YouTube video, they say you should be able to fit a phone into. Now, if I try to fit my phone in this pocket with nutrition in this pocket and a full flask, I can't do it. It doesn't zip. I feel like I'm gonna break the zipper. So I don't know about this front zipper pocket, but it does not fit a normal. This is an iPhone 15 Pro. It definitely does not fit a phone quite so nicely. So I put, maybe something small, like more nutrition in here, but definitely kind of disappointed in that. What I ended up doing is I put my phone in one of these other front pockets, and it actually fit quite well in there. But now I'm taking up nutrition space. So I think that the phone design here is just a little bit flawed and could use some work. Outside of that, for the front of the pack, that's all that I've got. I'm going to turn it around and move to the back. Okay, so now I want to talk about the back of the pack. There's actually Some pretty cool innovation, I would say, with the back design. What you could kind of see is that there's 2 pockets up here, which is pretty neat. So you could put an extra flask in this back pocket, and then there's this little kind of hook system. So you could hook it shut, which is pretty slick, although I noticed that it tends to come unhooked. So it is what it is, at least while I'm holding it like this, right? But then you could fit poles in the back. I do think this is like maybe the coolest thing about the pack is this design for poles. The thing is that like you do have to take the pack off if you want to take the poles in and out. I mean, there's just life, right? Like there's no way you're gonna be able to get them in wearing the pack. You also got to imagine like when you're wearing it, this is cinched really, really tightly to your back. So like it's really tight. You're gonna struggle to put the poles in. So you've got to take it off, put the poles in, and then, you know, take it back out. So, you know, that's fine. I'm not critiquing that. I do think that the back is really cool. It's got kind of like this side pocket, and it's sticky on the inside, so you can put like a jacket or something in there. And then the other part that I liked is they did sneak another zipper pocket in the back, so you could put like car keys, first aid kit, something kind of cool in there. You know, I don't know that I 100% trust this back pocket, right? Because anything could just slide out of it. I'm sure maybe it wouldn't happen, but it does make me just a little bit nervous. Anyways, kind of like super cool back design. I think if anything, this is the best part of the pack. Maybe there's a little bit of work they could do on the front, but anyways, this is pretty cool. Sorry, one more thing on the back design. If you were to carry another flask in here, I still don't think there's any way you could reach behind you to grab it, but to put the other flask back in, you're still gonna have to take this off to do it. So just keep that in mind. I mean, it's convenient. I don't know, like I got short arms. I don't have great like shoulder flexibility, but you're probably gonna have to take the pack off to get anything out of the back. Nope. Okay, so let's talk about the bottles. I'm gonna caveat this by saying I'm not a soft flask girly overall, right? Like I really like Ultra Aspire packs and their hard flask designs. I've always found soft flasks to be frustrating. But for me, these are really, really tough to get into the pockets. Again, I'm going to caveat this by saying, again, you know, not really used to soft flasks. Maybe the vest's a little bit too small on me, but this is a 600 milliliter flask. Again, they claim that the reason they could do this is because of this, like, you know, no bounce system, which is super cool. All great idea. But like, I've got some nutrition in this vest. Let's say I'm like at an aid station and I want to put, you're just going to watch me struggle to get a full flask back into this pocket. Now there is kind of this loopy over here to secure the bottle down. I mean, I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. And it's just kind of like not, you know, with the nutrition, it's just kind of like not. Also, like, maybe I just suck at this, right? I don't know. Maybe this is just a me problem. It's not super easy. It is very tight. Again, I appreciate the trade-off here between no bounce and just like maybe you have to struggle to get the bottles in and it's not that big of a deal. Like again, that took me whatever, like 15 seconds. I found it a little bit frustrating. It was a little bit too tight. But again, you know, it is what it is and it is very secure if that's what your priority is. All right, everybody. So quick summary, my impressions of the Raide 5-liter vest, anti-bounce vest. Really cool design, really cool innovation and engineering overall. I love the thought that was put into the vest. I love the use of Dyneema in a vest. I think it's going to be super durable. There are just a few things that functionally didn't really work with me and just the types of vests that I'm used to. Again, the placement of the bottles just being kind of constrictive around my lungs. I didn't love that. Just felt some of the front pockets a little bit limited in terms of storage capacity. The zipper pocket not really fitting a phone as advertised when your flasks are full. Little things like that I think they could definitely improve upon in a second version or maybe a slightly larger, bulkier version of the pack. Nonetheless, I found the back design particularly innovative with the ability to stash poles. The divider down the back of the pack, so simple and elegant, yet super, super cool. Also forgot to mention that there's a capability, there are 2 hidden snaps in the back, so you could actually section off the back pocket. So if you're not using it for poles, you could put some other things in there and they won't drop all the way to the bottom. So nonetheless, again, you know, I love the innovation. I think that we are all waiting for the perfect running pack. It just doesn't quite exist yet. So, you know, Raide had some really great ideas. I hope they keep building on this and maybe make a V2 of the pack. Nonetheless, it was super cool to try it and share all this with you today. I hope you found this helpful. Definitely get out there, give it a try, run in it, and see if it works for you. Thanks for watching, y'all. See you soon.